bring that dog out. We need to feed it. You are the only problem, the only solution. When we make a decision, mountains move.
The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. What you're seeking is on the other side of fear.
If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, my God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
Yep, you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you.
You know, I love the quote by Bruce Lee. It's one of my favorite quotes. He says, I was never worried about my opponents who practice 1,000 moves. I was worried about my opponents who practice one move 1,000 times. We have a dog in us, but we need to bring that dog out. We need to feed it. You are the only problem, the only solution. When we make a decision, mountains move.
The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. What you're seeking is on the other side of fear.
If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your step. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dreamed in the dust's mind wakened the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible.
Welcome everyone. I am super excited to have you here. First of all, let me know in the chat where you're joining us from today. Where in the UK are you joining us from today? It's so exciting to be here. And you know what? I have to tell you something. If you have been hitting a ceiling, if you are staying stuck in the same place again and again, let me tell you, you are in the right room. Definitely in the right room. So hit in the chat if you're all committed. I really want you to show up for yourself. For the next 3 days, show up for yourself. Manage all the distractions. Tell your family members that you have to be here live because you are doing something for yourself. You're doing something for your family. You're doing something for yourself. You are going to be here. So manage all your distractions. Get the notebooks if you haven't done so already, you know, your workbooks, get a pen. And I really want you to immerse yourself because a lot of people, you know, maybe they are getting, you know, maybe just some incremental kind of growths in their life, but you want a quantum leap. You really want to succeed in life. So I really want you to be fully present. Oh, Potter's Bar, amazing. Okay, so I want you to be really committed. Oh, I'm from Buckinghamshire as well. Essex, amazing. I love this. I love the energy, guys. Use this chat, of course, not to spam anyone or anything, but use this chat to really interact with us, to get to know, so we can get to know you as well. So I'm so excited to be here again. So really good. Not sure if sounds keep cutting right now as well. I think for everyone it is there. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me, you can see me well. Please do give me a thumbs up. I would love that. I did recognize there was a sound that was cutting on when the video was on. I'm not sure why, but it's technology, guys. That's what happens. That's life, right? But I'm really excited to be here. And I'm going to start this because for the next 3 days, you see, either you can treat it as information, which I definitely do not want you to treat as, because I'm not here to motivate you. I'm really here to give you framework. I'm here to give you, a framework to really work through so you can create a quantum leap in your life. So if you are really committed, let me know in the chat. I'm all in. I want you to type in the chat, I'm all in. So I want you to be here for all 3 days, as I said, and let's get to work. I am super excited to be here. So like I said, if you have been hitting a ceiling, if you have just been making some, just some incrementally growth in life, you're sick and tired of it, starting and, finishing the year on the same kind of place, this is for you. This room is for you. This challenge has been created for you. And I want you all to start this with an intention. Because I want you to know that you're one decision away from changing your life. I was one decision away from changing my life. And I want you to really ask yourself honestly, are you doing things that are setting you up to create massive success in life? Or are you just drifting by day? And I'm not asking this from a place of judgment to judge yourself, but I'm asking this from a place of love, Ask yourself, because you have goals. The reason you are on this call, the reason you have booked this in your calendar, and I want you, if you've not booked these 3 days in your calendar, I want you to book them, because these will really help you, not just motivate you. Like I said, I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to inspire you. I'm here to impress upon your subconscious that what is possible for you. So even before we get into the whole day, I want you to ask yourself, what if a better life was possible for me? What is it? What all can I achieve? Because like in the video, Bob asked, Bob Proctor, maybe you know him. If you know him, let me know in the chat. Yes, I do know him. I've heard of him from the movie The Secret. What is it that you want? What is it that you truly want? Because you know what? You're one decision away from getting that in your life. And we all are. Not just you. We all are. We are just one decision away. I know I was on my coaching call with my clients the other day, and they asked me this question. One of them asked me, like, you've gone through so much in your life, and how did you let go of your past so easily? And I said, and my answer was really simple. I'll be honest with you. I could have allowed my past to either define me, but I really chose to let it redefine me. Who am I going to be? So you can either let your circumstances, your past to define who you are in life, or actually let them redefine who you're going to be in your life. So I want you to have an honest look at your results in life, because results do not lie. They're giving you, it's not that they're always going to be the same, but they're giving you an honest opinion of where you have been in your life. Where were your thoughts before? So, right, you've heard of Bob Proctor. So I really want you to look at this and ask yourself, if my results are not what I want them to be, it's not because of the circumstance. It's not because of anything else. It's because of I was not aware how to create a better life. And that's what these 3 days are going to be for you. And that's why I cannot emphasize this enough, that, block these 3 days for you. They are for you in your life, so you can really achieve the results that you desire. Okay, so as I said, it doesn't matter where you have been in your life. It doesn't matter where you are. What matters is where you are going in life. And, maybe right now I want you to look at your life, right? I want you to look at your results, but do not get emotionally involved with it. I do not want you to do that. Maybe you're winning at life at a very high level, and maybe you're struggling. Maybe your business may be in trouble right now. Your health isn't great. Your relationships aren't great. Maybe you're somewhere in the middle, and it doesn't matter where you are. What matters is where you are going. Everything what I do in my life, it starts with an intention. And I want you to set an intention. Doesn't matter, like I said, what's happened in the past. I want you to look forward. What is it that you really, really want? And that's one question probably I'll ask you all 3 days, probably even after that. What is it that you really want? It's not, and I'll get in more deep into it later, but what is it that, what if everything was possible for you? What would you love to achieve in your life? What is it that you would really, really love to have in your life? So, what is it? Set that intention. Like I said, what do you really want? Write down. Maybe let me know in the chat. What is it that you really, really want in life? You know, and I start everything with the intention. And intention means getting clear about what we want. So before we go any further, lock in on what you want more than anything else right now. So next 1 year, if you had maybe two things that were non-negotiable, that have to happen in your life, you would that's a non-negotiable. What would it be? Write it down in the chat. I would love to know that. What is it that you would love to achieve? Maybe it is more revenue in your business. Maybe it's a house that you desire. Maybe it's a car. Maybe it is, a better job, a better career for yourself. What is it? Because I want to know so I can tweak the 2-3 days, next 3 days according to that. So I really, really want you to let me know. What is it that you truly desire in life? What's the intention? Because it's so, so important for you to set that intention. And I also want you to, so let me know in the chat. I will keep an eye on the chat to look at that. But imagine it's 3 days from now. The challenge is finished, it's already done, and you woke up on Friday morning, and you wake up and you do not feel like the same person who showed up on day one, right now on this call. Maybe it's a different version of you. The fear is quieter, it's no longer controlling you, doubt has lost its grip on you. The procrastination that used to control you is no longer running the show, but instead, you feel certain in yourself. You have more belief. You have more, faith in possibilities, what's possible for you. Maybe you've stopped chasing, like you have understood the power that you have within yourself. And you're like, what, I'm not going to chase anything. I'm going to claim my, rightfully what belongs to me, because something inside you has changed. How would that feel you? How would that feel for you? You've decided to bet on yourself. You have started to trusting yourself on a very different level. You have this, out of this blue, you have this really strong sense of conviction that I'm meant for bigger things. You're keeping your promises that you said you will make. And the most important thing is you've started betting on yourself. Because how many times you should be doing, but then the fear creeps in. And if that fear could just go away from your life, how would your life be? Or maybe it won't go away. Fear never goes away. So I won't be lying to you. Fear becomes quieter because why? Your faith becomes stronger. And when I say faith, I do not mean religion, by the way. I mean faith in yourself, faith in what you do. More revenues. Okay, I love that. A house in Wales by the sea. I love that. And more work coming for you and your partner. I love that. Absolutely, absolutely love that. Right? So think bigger. So when you say revenue, what type of revenue would you like? Would you like 6 figures? Would you like 7 figures? Would you like 8 figures? So I want you to really imagine what is possible. If everything was possible for me, all the resources were possible for me, what would I love to achieve in my life? And then, like I said, you're waking up very different, believing that it's possible, not just believing it's possible for you, knowing in every cell of your body that whatever I'm writing there, whatever revenue that is, the house, whatever is that I desire, it's possible for me. Because it is. Right? So how is that version different to how you're showing up today? What would be that one thing for you? Let me know in the chat. What would be that one thing for you? Would it be that fear has become quieter for you? Is it that procrastination is not controlling you anymore? Is it you're more certain in yourself? There's more conviction. You're good at selling. Like, what is it going to be for you? Right? More belief in yourself? Or maybe it's just like, oh, I'm allowed to dream bigger. I'm allowed to think bigger. Maybe it's just something very simple like that. You're like, now I can actually think bigger in my life, right? So really, really good. This is what I want. So let me know in the chat. I will keep my eyes on it because I want to see what it's all. So let's keep this chat firing up, guys, because it's the energy, right? Let's create some energy in the room. Let's do it because I'm here for you for all 3 days. So let's do it together. Yeah, I love that. More confidence, right? And belief. Yes. Because whatever you desire, that would require more confidence, more belief in yourself. 100%. So do fire up a lot in the chat. I would love that energy. I would love you to show up. Like I said, show up for yourself every day. Although I can't see you, show up on cameras on your thing, wherever you're joining from, because it's the confidence, right? It's your belief in yourself. Okay. And maybe you've realized during these 3 days, that your goals were never the problem, because sometimes we think maybe it's not the right goal. Maybe I'm thinking too way ahead. Maybe it's not realistic, like you tell yourself. Well, we don't set realistic goals. Definitely not. Why? Because I'll show you why later on. Because come on, when we can have everything, why we set realistic? Why we set small goals for ourselves? Realistic goals is something we are programmed to do. We are conditioned to, because we are never taught how to believe in ourselves. We are never taught how to feel more confident in yourself. So that's what it is, right? So maybe you realize that my goals were never the problem. They were always right, right? Maybe right now you doubt yourself that maybe I don't have the potential, the ability. And during these 3 days, you realize, actually, you know what? My potential was never the problem, because I was born with everything. You're a phenomenal being, you're a spiritual being. Here, this is for a human experience in a human body. You've everything. Your spiritual DNA is perfect. So your potential was never the problem. But it is like who you showed up, who you chose up every day. So the real issue is not in the goals. It's not whether you're able or you don't have the potential. Of course you have. We all are made in we are God's highest form of creation. So of course, whether you believe in God, universe, higher power, I believe in God. So I'm going to use God, but feel free to use whatever word resonates with you. But I want you to understand that we were made in God's image, right? If we were made in God's image, then everything is possible for us. But the real issue is that who do we decide we become? We can become anything, right? We can become the best version of ourselves. We can become the worst version of ourselves. So what version do you decide every day? And yes, it's an everyday thing until that becomes a part of who you are, right? So the moment you decide that I'm going to be a different version of me, that's when the life starts changing. Not the goal. Of course, you need a bigger goal, because that's what will determine what version of you are operating from, right? So the moment you decide that I'm going to step into that version of me, that is when your life will never, ever be the same again. So I see a lot of people, right? I work with a lot of people. I do a lot of keynote speaking. I work with big corporates. I work with a lot of people one-to-one in goal, in group calls, everything. I work with all sorts of people. And I want you to know, everyone wants a better life. We all know. We want quantum leaps, but quantum leap cannot happen until you finally decide to become that version of you. Like, people want to receive the results, but their results start changing not when they will happen. It starts when you start deciding that I am going to become that version of me, right? I am going to become that version of me that's going to create that 8 figures, that 7-figure business, that freedom, financial freedom, the health, whatever is important to you. But I want you to understand one thing. You will, and I want you to really tattoo this in your mind right now. You will never outperform consistently, right? You'll never consistently outperform your identity, your self-image, who you believe you are. What is the image? When I say identity, who you are, self-image again. Who are you? I use the word identity instead of self-image, although they all mean the same. And the reason is because self-image, sometimes people think how you show up on the outside, how you dress up, how you walk, talk. Yes, that's part of identity, who you are. But real identity is according to the habits, who you believe. What's your belief system? How do you show up when fear shows up? Do you go back in your comfort zone, or do you really embrace the fear and you show up in life, right? How do you step up? So this is what I mean when I'm talking about identity, the personality, the qualities, the self-image that you hold about yourself, about the world. That's what identity is. So identity is a very big umbrella, and all, during today, tomorrow, and day after, I'll be covering all of it. So you are in for a treat. So give me in the chat that yes, I am in and I'm committed to showing up on all 3 days, because every day is banked upon the last day. So today I'm going to talk about something very important, because I know right now you think maybe you're lazy, that's why you're not achieving your goals. Maybe you're telling yourself a story, it's because of this, it's because of that, because maybe the economy is not good and all of that. But today you will understand that actually none of that things on the outside are responsible for your results. There is an internal thing that is controlling all your results. So that's why, and tomorrow then we'll talk about standards, and then we will talk about the decision making and how to execute everything together. Like that's going to be the cherry on the cake. So I want you to be part on all 3 days. Do the work, post it in the Facebook group, show up, really, really show up for yourself. Like I said, I'm not here to motivate you. I'm going to say that probably God knows how many times, because that's not my job. You have YouTube for that, you have a lot of podcasts for that. I have invented, or not invented, I have kind of created this room for you so you can really have a face-to-face conversation with yourself, with me, and we will of course have a Q&A on day 3. All the things will be given to you, everything will be provided to you. So show up for yourself on all days. Amazing, I love that. So mark your calendars, let's move on. Okay, so I want you to start betting on yourself, right? So like I said, my intention is to create a permanent shift in how you see yourself. So do the work, stay open to the ideas that I'll be discussing with you, and make one decision. So tell me one thing if you are on, like, I bet on myself, because that was the decision I had to make for myself, right? And I want to ask you, when was the last time that you truly bet on yourself? 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Maybe last week? When was the last time you truly bet on yourself? Because it's easy to bet on circumstances because they're right in front of us, right? We can blame them, we can tell, oh yeah, it's because of this. But when was it that you went all in on something that you still was unseen? You had not still seen that. When was that for you? Let me know in the chat that when was the last time that you really, really went all in for something that you truly want. And that's why I'm asking you all to kind of say, I'm all in, because I want to impress this upon your subconscious that I'm all in on all 3 days, no matter what's happening. Because if I do not show up for myself, nothing's going to change in my life. Like I said, people want quantum leaps, but if you're not going to do the work, nothing is going to change. And as I said, you do not have any problem. You're not lazy. You're not, I know it shows up that you're procrastinating, but procrastination is not the problem. You might think procrastination is the problem. It's not. You might think, I do not have belief. That's the problem. You might think, oh, I do not have the confidence, and that's why I am not showing up online, on whatever. And you might be giving yourself all of these excuses in life. Okay. I want you to really understand what I'll be teaching next. That all of those stories are, can we call BS on them? Because they are. And I'll tell you why. Because we are living with this lie that there is something in me that I am faulty. Maybe I'm not good enough. How many of you tell yourself all day long, maybe it's because I'm not good enough. Maybe because, this thing happened with me in the past. Maybe it's the traumas of my life. Maybe it's this. And none of that is true. Why? Because you don't have any problems with laziness. Like I said, you don't have a procrastination problem. You do not have a confidence problem. You do not have a belief problem. What is happening is we all have a paradigm. And when I say a paradigm, what it really means is there's an operating system that is running the show. You and I have the operating system. Everything you want is on the other side of who you decide to become. So if you're just getting started, maybe you have the start and stop cycle. Maybe the only thing is you don't have the right foundation. So if you're already successful, this is where you want to break through the next ceiling, that more effort is not required. Maybe you think today, maybe I want to put more effort in. Maybe you feel that I've tried so much in my life, but nothing is changing. Maybe I need more information. No, you do not need more information. You definitely need the right information. But what you need to understand is the operating system that you are being operated by, the paradigm that is controlling you. And before I move any further, let me ask you one thing which I completely forgot to. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so, because That way you'll be able to communicate within the chat with ourselves, and I would love to see you in the chat. So please do subscribe to the channel, YouTube channel, and that way you will be, you'll be kind of given notifications that when the next live is on and all of that. So I share a lot of value, and I want you to just maybe subscribe so you can chat with me. I want to see all the fire in the chat going on. So like I said, paradigm is what I want you to understand. It's like this video, right? It's like paradigm is your subconscious like a tape recorder. And in that tape recorder, there's a paradigm, is a seed. So if I had to explain paradigm in a simple language, it's the seed. And the seed that is planted in you, the tree will be according to that seed. Does that make sense to you all? Right? So if I plant an acorn seed, the tree that's going to grow will be of acorn. It's not going to be an orange tree or an apple tree. So the seed that is planted in you, the operating system that you have right now, dictates the money that you will earn. It dictates how confident you feel in yourself. It controls your identity. It controls your time. It controls everything. And that's why I want you to understand that you don't have any problem. You have an operating system that you're operating by. And I love this book by, Psycho-Cybernetics. It was written by, very amazing. I don't remember the name of the author now. But he was a doctor. Amazing. I always talk about the book. It's going to come to me, I'll tell you. The book is called Psycho-Cybernetics, and it's, Maxwell Maltz. It was written by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, and he's talking about identity in it, right? He was a plastic surgeon, and he talks a lot about how people have this self-image, right? And they operate from that self-image. So everything that you're doing in life, whether you tell yourself you're lazy, you procrastinate, you do not have the confidence you believe, is not because you have those issues in life. No, you have an operating system. You have a paradigm which is dictating, oh, I'm lazy. Oh, I am this. Oh, I am that. And when you understand, I just have to update this operating system, right? Like if you look at your phones today as well, right? They have an operating system. So if you want to have no bugs, like sometimes we have bugs in the phones and we have all of those things, and you do not want to have all of bugs or whatever is spoiling your phone or virus that's getting into your phone, you need to upgrade your phone. Like, you get notifications from Apple, upgrade your phone. Or if you have Samsung, like, Android, whatever you call it, you will have notifications from them, upgrade it, So likewise, but we don't get that notification in life. You need to upgrade. So this today and over next 2 days is the notification that you need to upgrade your system. The system that is running you. Because if you don't upgrade the system that's running you, guess what? It's going to have control over your life. And that's why we need to change that. So once we upgrade the system, and I'm going to show you what to do, how to do everything over the next 3 days, you will be able to change the system and achieve your goals. Like, I remember what I said on one of the slides. Your goal was never the problem. Your potential was never the problem. The problem is who you choose to be, right? So who you choose to be is that operating system that you are living by. Is that making sense? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you are with me so far. If that makes sense to you, all is really good. Let me know in the chat, please, that yes, it is making sense, complete making sense to me right now. Or I'm not just talking any jubu here, just to make sure that you're all with me and it's making sense. Okay, so over the next 3 days, today we will look at operating system. Tomorrow we will look at standards, because who you are, what you allow to be, what you do not allow in your life to happen is a standard. Once you understand what does that next version of you accept as normal, I don't like calling future self, or you can call future self, what you call accept as normal, that is the standard. And then day 3, we will look at the decision and execution, like how do you make real decisions that will change your life, not everyday decisions, I mean life-changing decisions. And how do you execute from that new standard that you've set for yourself? Like I said, every day builds upon the previous day. Treat it as though I'm coaching you one-to-one. Like, I can't see you, but I know like you're commenting in the chat. So I really want you to see it as I'm coaching you one-to-one, like I coach my clients. Okay, so let's go. So please also on this point, I want to say, before we go really in the operating system, is about, if you have not downloaded the workbook, do so. Really do so. It's sent to you already in your emails, on the WhatsApp. Do so, or maybe reach out to one of my team members if you've not received them. The reason is because, like I said, I'm not here to motivate you. I want you to do the work. I want you to post it in the Facebook group, and one person who shows up live every day and does work will be chosen as a winner, and we will let you know what who they are tomorrow for today. And also, all calls are being recorded, so you can watch the replays, of course, and I highly recommend you watching the replays. But replays are not, oh, I'll watch it later kind of thing. Replays are for you to reinforce what I'm teaching you, but show up live every day, because that's when the shift happens. Because I'll say something, while I'm talking to you. Like I said, I'm coaching you one to one. So really zone in with me and listen to me as if I'm just talking to you. So pay attention. And you might just have an aha. So do drop those ahas here as well in the chat. I would love to listen to them here or in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so let's go. Who's in? I am so excited. Okay, 3 non-negotiable rules. Like I said, show up live. Replays used for repetition, but transformation happens in the room in the real time. Number 2, do the work every day. Listening alone is not enough. You've listened to enough of podcast and YouTube and your life hasn't changed. Change happens in the doing. So what I want you to do is in the doing. And be active in the chat. Speak into existence what you want to create. That's the best way. So if you're ready to all go in, let's go all in the chat. I love that. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So first of all, one thing that you need to understand is who you are first. Who are you? You're not your results in life. You are not your environment. Definitely not. Whatever is happening on the outside is not you. Your bank account is not you. Your report card of life is your bank account right now. So do not let it dictate who you become in life or who you are. Your current results are definitely not you. The excuses you give yourself is not you. The past is not you. There is more of you what you see currently visible. Okay? If one person can create a quantum leap, so can you. If one person create a great business or great wealth, so can you. You and I, we all have enormous potential inside of us, right? So you have enormous potential inside you. So when you understand who you really are, it's the minute you will stop chasing and proving it to the world. You do not need to chase, you do not need to prove, but you definitely need to understand who you are. But when you do not understand it, you keep chasing, you keep proving yourself, and sometimes settling goals that are not even authentic to you. Does that make sense? Are you doing those things? Are you proving yourself? Are you chasing life? Like, are you chasing clients in your business? Are you setting goals which are not even authentic to you? You're showing up for jobs which don't even give you pleasure in life. You're doing things which are not giving you joy. Let me know in the chat. And I want you to understand that you're just not this body. You're not the name that's been given to you. You're more than the physical body, and the creation begins on the invisible side, on the spiritual side, rather than by being completely attached to the physical circumstances in front of us. All of you might just have gathered that Bob Proctor was my mentor, and I'll get into it later. And he used to always tell me that if you're living your life from current reality, if you're living your life from results, that's the dumbest way to live your life, because you will keep recreating your life, the same life again and again. So do not look at the physical circumstances in front of you. Okay, let's look at who we truly are. Like I said, we are God's highest form of creation. And if you do not believe, just borrow my belief in you. I know what's your potential inside you right now, right? So I want you to understand there is so much. It doesn't matter who you are right now. Yes, you're a painter decorator, but painter decorators could be in a very big way as well. You could be still, there are people who are making 8 figures as that business. So it's nothing what you are currently right now. That's what I want you to understand. It's not about who you are right now. It's not about your results right now. It's about where you are. And before we go any further, I want you to look at the chair right now, the one you're sitting at, right? Because it could be the pivotal moment for you in your life. What will you look back 12 months from now, right? The chair that you're sitting on could be a price, have a tag of $5 million chair. The chair itself is not the point, it's a metaphor. But decide what this chair is going to represent 12 months from now. Why? Because you can look back at this moment and say, oh, wow, the call I had with Gagan, it completely switched my life. That was the most pivotal moment of my life when I went all in, when I made the decision that I'm going to do everything what it takes. So I want you to write the number. What is it that you want to create in 12 months from now? Is it a $5 million? Is it going to be 50,000? Is it going to be 100K? Is it going to be 500K? You are the greatest investment in the world. So give yourself, what is that investment that, what is this chair going to be worth? Because what are you going to achieve? Everything you and I do is an investment in our future. So I want you to give it a price, because if I look back at the chair when I was sitting, when I made the decision of going all in on myself, betting on myself, oh, I don't even know how many zeros I'll have to add in my life. So I want you to understand that this is a very pivotal moment, and I've not even started diving into the session. Okay, so because right now you might think that, oh, this is who I am, right? This is just a small version, the version you look in the mirror every day, the face that you look in the mirror, the body that you look in the mirror every day is a tiny part, tiny part of who you really are. What we see physically in the mirror doesn't see a potential. It's not showing you the potential. That's just the physical body and the current physical circumstances. That's not the whole you. That's not the whole person that you are. There's far more potential, intelligence, and creative capacity on the invisible side that you can't even see. But I know you have it. How do I know? Because I used to be on the other side of this chair at one point. That's how I really know. And it is, you might think only this much money, because you might look at your bank account and think, oh, this is what I'm worth right now. No, that is not what you're worth right now. Maybe you look at your scales on the weighing scale and you look, oh, this is what my health is right now. No, it's not. That is what it is from the past. Your past is reflecting out in that right now, right? So whatever is printing out right now, whether it's in your relationship, your money, your health, any part of your life, it's just a printout of your past. But today, this is a pivotal time. Like these 3 days, you can change what you really want. Okay. So I want you to think bigger. I really want you to think what's possible for you, because there's a lot that's possible for you. And all of that potential, the resources will be provided to you. So when you really understand that, oh, everything is possible for me, and what is there on the invisible side, you will not chase from attachment to the present evidence. That's the thing. I do not want you to chase. I do not want you to just get attached to your present circumstances in life. Okay, so before we go and any further, I want you to maybe close your eyes if you want to, but just relax. Even if you do not close your eyes, just relax. And I want you to visit your 12 months from now, right? And I want you to bring that version of you into this present moment. It's 1 year from now. It's next 2020, what, 2027 is going to be next? Wow, 2027 is almost here, by the way, 4 months away, right? And your potential did not change. The thing that changed is who you decided to be. You still have the same potential within you. You still have everything same, but it's who you've decided to become. Because like I said, you have infinite potential within you. And I want you to really listen to me. Close your eyes if you can connect beautifully that way. You have all the potential that you would ever require in life. Everything. But you have decided to step into that version of you. I want you to think about that. From that place, you enter this room and you're with people you love at dinner, and they are congratulating you. They're saying, I'm blown away by who you have become. How did you do it? And I want you to be in that room. And the room, after that, I want you to imagine this other room where you open your bank account and you're seeing everything is in overflow. What does that look like for you? What's that number? How does that feel? That maybe that sense of security, maybe you feel that ease. How's your life different 12 months from now? What's that number? Hold the image. And then maybe there's another room, where you look in the mirror and you look in the mirror in your own eyes with love, with forgiveness, with gratitude, and you feel so worthy in every cell of your body. Every cell. And then you return to the income image. Imagine the income that used to be annual is now your monthly income. How would that feel? Notice whether you will Allow, actually. So I want you to pay attention to this, your body right now. Are you allowing your body this idea to accept or resist? Are you accepting this idea that your yearly income is now your monthly income, or you resisting it? Or there's something in your body that is saying, that's not possible for me. I want you to pay attention to that. Imagine earning more while you sleep than you can spend while you're awake. Imagine being free from trading all your time for the money. What would that freedom feel like? And I want you to pay attention to your body. Imagine it being in the best shape of your life, full of energy, vitality. That reflection matches the standard that you are becoming. Imagine yourself walking into the rooms without shrinking or apologizing. And people feel your conviction, your certainty before you speak. That person is not merely a fantasy, it's you. Who are you? How does that feel? I want you to pay attention to that. And I want you to pay attention. Did you allow it to happen? What was it between you and the person you just saw? I would expect many of you to feel resistance, and that's normal. That is normal. If there's no resistance at all, perhaps the idea is not actually bigger than what you already believe is possible. So I really want you to think again bigger. Because the goal truly is beyond your current circumstances. Your goal is something that excites you and scares you. It should not make you feel comfortable. It actually should make you uncomfortable because it requires you to think bigger, study, and operate differently. You can have a goal written on a card, which I do say you should, definitely. But if you do not have a commitment, it's just a card. I'll be honest with you. So, where is the gap? The gap is the identity. That is the gap where we are going to close, right? That's the gap we are actually going to close. So, if there's only one idea that you can really take on from today's call, I want you to really lock on to this, okay? One idea, just if I have to sell you one idea, your results are not a reflection of your effort. One thing, remember, brain tattoo it. Your results are not a reflection of your effort. They are a reflection of your identity. And I'm not saying this because working hard is bad or not. Hard work builds your character, right? That's what it is. But the way you work, the way you think, the way you operate changes when you're detached and operating from the right identity. So it's not about working more, but it's working from the right identity. Okay? So your results are not a reflection of your effort, they're a reflection of your identity. So I'll be very honest with you. We wake up every morning. The insanity is that, you link up your current today, your present today with the same thoughts you had yesterday. Those thoughts created some choices for you, right? The choices create the same decisions. The decisions create the same behaviors for you. And the behaviors create the same results. And then you ask, right, why am I not changing? Why are my results not changing? Because you're being 90% of 95% of who you were yesterday. That's why your results are not changing. If you're thinking the same thoughts, if you're taking the same actions every day, you're not going somewhere new. Chasing better results without changing identity is chasing your own tail. I'll be honest with you, right? So, like Joe Dispenza explains this so beautifully, Dr. Joe Dispenza, right? If you have the same thoughts again and again, you're creating the same result, like you're stuck in the same loop. And let me know in the chat, does it feel like you're stuck in the same loop? You're trying everything, but you're stuck in the same loop again and again. Same thoughts, same choices, same decisions, same behavior, same results. Of course, but why? And that's why, right? That's a definition of insanity. Doing the same, expecting different results. Okay, so your results are just feedback. Thinking is a habit, right? And I really want you to brain tattoo this. You do not attract only what you consciously want. You keep producing results consistently with what you are being. So look at your current results right now on every area of your life, right? And maybe the area that you need more attention. Look at current results as information. Not get emotionally attached, just as information. Your current habits and identity, not as a prediction of what you must be 6 months from now, just right now. So thinking is a habit. Money behavior is a habit. Body weight behavior is a habit. Identity itself is habitual. So if you keep repeating thought is, I don't have enough money, right? That thought becomes part of identity of how you see yourself. because you're rehearsing the same thought again and again. You're rehearsing the same behavior again and again. So if you want more money, decide to become the person for whom earning more is normal, not just by manifest like affirmations, right? You just decide that I'm going to be the person where earning more is normal. Like, if someone typed 8 figures, earning more is normal for that person. It's not just by sitting on a chair and meditating. It's by having different actions, different behaviors, right? People say, I don't have enough time. One of my clients was saying, like, oh, always have this, I don't have enough time. We cannot manage time itself, but we manage our activities and focus. So, people blame economy. People blame, oh, maybe it's the president, the prime minister, the outside system. They're always blaming on the outside. But no, my mentor Bob Proctor used to always say, you create your own economy. You really do create your own economy. And I remember a time when I was with Bob, and he was saying on the stage that you can create your own economy, and I was like, really? How? Like, I was really not believing it. It was a true disbelief for me. But then Bob said something else, like another idea, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, turn your annual income into your monthly income. And I went home asking myself, why would he say something like that? Even if, like, is it even possible for someone to make their yearly income into monthly income? But I loved the idea. I was a teacher at that point, and I said, I would love that. And I just fell in love with that idea. And then, of course, I started working in Western history, and I'll talk about that later because I just want to give information to you today. First, when I decided that, I first made my first yearly income as a teacher, my quarterly income, and then it became my monthly income. And then I've earned that even in a day. So do not reject the bigger idea because present circumstances cannot support it yet, because I did it, right? I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't reject the idea, but I was like, oh, I'll be open to this idea. I would love it to happen. So I'm not saying this to impress you, but definitely to impress upon your subconscious that if it's possible for me, if it's possible for 3% people in the world, it's possible for you as well, right? I really want you to know if it's possible for one person, it's possible for us all. Okay. And I know, maybe right now you say, I've tried everything. More strategy is not the solution, right? It's not going to automatically change your results. Strategy works. It can always work. But two people can use a similar strategies and get very different results in life. And the difference is what? Do you know that? It's a belief. It's the identity. So stop believing that present results are who you are. Okay? Please take that down. Present results are not you. Present results are a reflection of who you have been, not a command, but about who you become next. So do not become emotionally involved with your current results. Use them just as a feedback. Okay? Now, like on the outside, to be honest, I looked fine. I was a teacher living paycheck to paycheck. My accounts were regularly overdrawn. I'll be honest, my bank accounts. At the same time, I'd been, battling fibromyalgia for around 7 to 8 years of my life. My days were full of body pain, of course, emotional pain as well, because I woke up overthinking about the future. I slept with the same thoughts, every day, same of the same. I wanted a different life. I wanted to have better health. I wanted more finances. But all of this just costed me everything. I would be with my children, but never be present with my children. Does that resonate? Because I would go shopping with them, I'll take them out, but at the back of the mind, I've still got the same things playing in my mind, all of that. And I used to live my life a lot in fear. More than fear, it was survival mode for me. I'll be very honest, it was just survival mode because so much had happened in my past, in my life, that I was just in a survival mode. Oh my gosh. But when I understood that these present circumstances are not the final author of my life, I get to choose. I get to write my own story. I get to write who do I need to be, what I desire to be in my life. I get to choose what's going to happen in my life. I'm going to upgrade this operating system that I have in my life. And I didn't, more effort inside the same operating system was not creating the change because, I started learning yoga. I started learning all these things, but my still was the same. My life was still the same. Why? I was reading books. How many? Like, I have a library of books, if I can show you. I attended so many courses, seminars, I was putting so much effort, but nothing was changing. So, because as everyone thinks, more effort, work harder, so I kept working harder. Nothing fundamentally changed. Information had not reached the subconscious level in a way that changes identity. So, being able to speak about an idea, and I know many of you, what I'm discussing here might resonate with you, not might, I'm sure it resonates with you, and you've heard this before. But I want you to understand that being able to speak about an idea does not mean you're living it. And life doesn't change, your results do not change until you start living it. And the big difference is you do not know this, you know about it, right? That's the thing. When you know it, that's who you become. And that's why identity is a big, big part of this. Because a lot of people pay attention to, having, what do you call them now? Oh gosh, vision boards and affirmations. And yes, I'll talk about them as well. But you need to understand, you need to be the version of you that's doing things differently. So you do not know this, you know about it. Okay. Like I said, I didn't have an information problem. Definitely, I had an identity problem. I had all the information I needed, how to heal myself, how to make more money. I had so much knowledge, but I did not know how to apply it. Information without implementation is delusion in life. You know, it's it's not going to happen. So you might have the information, but it's the implementation. And that's why I said I'm not here to motivate you. I want you to really do the work in the workbooks every single day. Really, really do the work. Okay? Because that's what is going to change the results in life. Great. Okay. So when I understood that it's not the information, it's the implementation, you know what? I stopped chasing money. I really stopped chasing money because I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I used to always chase money, like this thing, that thing, but nothing was happening. But when I understood, I stopped chasing money and I started chasing greatness in life. I started chasing my greatness. So the magic is actually in the work you are avoiding. I started changing my thinking and asking, who am I really? Who am I becoming every day? What is that greatest version of me? How does she think? How does she act? What type of behaviors does she have? So stop trying to get the results from the old identity. Why? Because you will always go back to that old identity. That's why a lot of people, most lottery winners go back to what was normal for them because that's what's familiar. So many people, keep going back to toxic relationships because that is normal to them. You have to become the version of you where this familiar life that you're living becomes unfamiliar. Different choices and decisions have to be made, have to be held even when you are uncomfortable. So the magic is in that, not in the information. For God's sake, the world we live in, we have got a lot of information. It's right there for us. It's doing the work. So what changed completely, I will tell you, in within 6 months, when I understood, when I started implementing, started becoming that version of me, I healed myself in 6 months when I couldn't heal myself for 8, 9 years. So I left my teaching career in 1 year. My first goal was to earn 10K months. Within the first 3 months, I reached my first 8K months, and even I think earlier than that. And from there, I built the business and continued becoming the person who could hold that next level. Okay. So today I coach, I speak events, I deliver keynote, speaking. I work with big, big corporates, healed myself, stopped overthinking, started operating from faith in my life, replaced fear and overthinking with faith and belief. Who am I today then, right? That's what it is. And I made it that I'm going to change my life. Okay. Results will not change permanently if you're not ready to change who you are. So are you ready to become the best version of you? If you are, type in the chat, yes, I'm ready to become that best version of me. Okay. And speak into existence right now. I am ready to become the best version of me right now over the next 3 days. And I know I'm very mindful of the time, so we might go 5 minutes over. So please stick on. Okay. Now, our greatest responsibility in life is, I know my stick person has gone all weird. I'm not sure why, but it's okay. So our greatest responsibility in life is not anything else but to just take control over our mind. Okay, we have two parts of the mind. I'm going to show it to you because that's not very clear. It is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, right? The conscious mind is to choose and reason. It can accept or reject ideas and originate new ideas. And the subconscious mind is where your control system is, where you are programmed, where everything is running on automatic, on default. It responds to what is repeatedly impressed upon it. And this is where your habits, are impressed. Your self image, your paradigms, everything lives here. And the body, which is, by the way, very small, but you think body is really big, but mind is in every cell of your body. The body expresses the program through action. So this is responsible for 5%, and this is responsible for 95% of your results. And repetition is how the deeper program is changed. So this subconscious is not changed by information which you've been collecting, all of those books, podcasts, everything. It is changed by repeating a different habit, a different pattern again and again. That's how you change your subconscious. And that is why almost it's impossible to do it alone. And that's why top 3% people, realize that. And, they work with mentors because you can't see by yourself what's there, what is stopping you, what habits are stopping you. So that's what it is. Oh, sorry. Okay. So I want you to put the mirror in front of yourself again. Who were you last week? Where were you the best version of you? Were you thinking abundantly? Were you feeling free? Your answers will show you what you repetitively choose, and therefore the identity that you're rehearsing every single day. The most honest reflection of your current identity is who you are being right now. Who are you being right now? So, like I said, your conscious mind can accept or reject an idea. And this is where discipline comes very handy. Not only handy, it's like it's non-negotiable. You have to become very disciplined in controlling your mind. So if you're someone who's struggling, although I don't use the word struggle, but I think it will resonate with you. If you're struggling financially and you're repeating and accepting what you do not want, no, stop rejecting. Reject that idea. Originate a better idea. Like I'm saying, what's possible for you? Choose a bigger idea for yourself. If you keep accepting limited ideas instead of rejecting them, they become part of your subconscious programming here. So it's very important that you start rejecting these ideas. Whatever is coming from the outside world, you reject the ideas you do not want. And you have to become very disciplined. And yes, it takes time, but you have to become very disciplined at it. And you have to reject and originate a better idea for yourself again and again, again and again. And that's why having accountability is very, very important in life, right? So if you have a partner who does it with you, amazing. Okay, like I said, you can, and this is the reason why affirmations and visualizations often fail. You can affirm something all day long, right? All day long. But if you do not believe in it, and if you do not feel it in every cell of your body, like in your mind, in you, it is not being accepted at the subconscious level. And that is why, affirmations and visualizations do not work for many people. Are you tired of affirming? Tell me, be honest, right? You are doing it, but is it working for you? Because you are emotionally so attached to your current reality, you can't even believe that that's possible for you. So, people accept the idea on the conscious level, but it never passes that gate here from the conscious to the subconscious. The conscious mind wants the goal, right? The conscious mind is reading the book, it's thinking, it's in charge, but the subconscious programming is running the identity automatically. So, what needs to change is this. But people are gaining information, it's only staying here, it's not getting there. Because here, your habits need to change, your identity needs to change, the main thing. Because once your identity changes, everything else changes in life. And that is why, it's a conflict of 5%, 95%. Conscious versus subconscious. That's the 5%, that's the 95%. Like I said, the conscious wants the goal, the subconscious running in existing identity on autopilot. So, subconscious, it works with what has been repetitively given to it. So until the conscious want is impressed upon the subconscious programming, your results will keep pulling you towards the old identity. So you're trying to win. It's like a battle. You're trying to win the 5% in the top, right? But your 95% keeps pulling you back because that's what you're committed to. The commitment is keeping you where you have been. And that is why, you never outperform your self-image in life. So important. I just want to make sure if I've covered everything, right? And that is why, working harder is not the answer. People think working harder is the answer. Working harder is not the answer. Understanding and reprogramming is the answer to your solution, to the life that you want, the goal that you desire, the house that you want, the relationship, the health, the income that you desire. That's where you need to understand what is the programming running your show, because your programming on money is on one. It's set on a certain pilot, like it's on an autopilot system. It's set. You have a set financial set point. You have a relationship set point. You have a health set point. And every time you try to set goals and you try to do everything, but whatever is the set point, your subconscious keeps going back to that. And that is why effort is not the answer. More information is not the answer. The answer is to change this system here. I know we are going 1 minute away up. Just stay with me because I really want you to understand. Okay. And that's why willpower does not win. Self-image will always win. Okay. You start a new behavior, few days, and then you find yourself forcing it. And eventually the old self takes over. So you begin earning a higher level and then you come back and you sabotage it. You sabotage your relationships, the finances. 1 month you do good in business, the second month you go back. Does that make sense to you? So self-image is the honest picture of how you see yourself. So the homework that I've given you will really help you identify that self-image that you are working from. So I really want you to do the work, because that is what you're retreating back again and again. Okay, so two things that you are operating from. Okay, the survival self and the rich self. So survival self, how do you know you are survival mode? Like that was me, right? I was living in fear, protection. I was waiting for evidence to change, my results to change, letting my circumstances decide for me, guarding what I have, choosing comfort, reacting to everything, not responding to life, always just reacting. That's the survival self. So let me know when you identify which one are you. And the rich self is richness in whole, right? Whole of life. Not only money, health, relationships, confidence, time, choices you make, money, freedom. You create from vision, expansion. You always work from the inside first. Which one are you? Are you operating from the survival, or are you operating from the, creating that life for yourself, from the wealth self of yourself, the rich self that you are? Which one are you? Let me know in the chat. And I want you to understand this. If working hard was the answer, you would be there already. You are capable and you're already trying, right? The new opportunity is changing it's not going to change the operating system. It's not simply adding more effort. You have to really change yourself. Knowing what to do is not the same as becoming the person who you need to be, right? Again, it's the same. You know a lot, but you're not doing it. There's a knowing and doing gap between where you are and where you want to be in life. So I want you to understand, the outside doesn't get the final vote. The circumstances do not have to decide who you become. The bank account, the past, the economy, other people, and current results, they do not decide the final vote. You decide what that final vote is. And I really want you to take that from me today. Who are you going to be? Because that's what's going to create your own economy. Okay? So now I want you to understand 3 points from today. More effort from the same self is not the answer to the solution you're seeking. Knowing something is not the same as becoming it. You have to be that version of you. And circumstances do not have to decide who you become in life. Your past has no control over you. The operating system is the foundation, right? Today, we have identified that. The homework is going to help you identify more. Tomorrow, we are going to look at standards. What type of standards you need to be from that next version of you, which are normal to be that version of you, right? To carry forward the written intention, future. So I'm so grateful for you. Apologies, I'm 4 minutes up. I will make sure that I'm in 1 hour tomorrow, but tomorrow is going to be huge, really huge, guys, because tomorrow is when we are really going to decide, right? What are those standards that we're going to set for ourselves? So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. I am so grateful for you being here. Type in the chat if you got really good value from this, which I know you did. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, same time, 7:30 p.m. Please do the homework, show up live. Your life matters, your future matters. So do it for